Hi, I'm Leo Paskovsky and I came to Eastern Tibet to find places where the Tibetan culture is preserved in its original form. Being a part of the People's Republic of China for more than half a century influenced the Tibetan way of life, their culture and their country. We're entering the uncharted waters of Tibetan hitchhiking. The distances are large, the speeds are small, and there is every chance to stay in the middle of nowhere and not getting anywhere. Shall our travel begin? Hello, are you going to Yachin? It's on the way. Are you going to Yachin?
Okay.
Tibet's always been a very closed country. It's always been very hard to get into. Although now it's not quite so hard. You can pay some money, get a permit, hire a guide, draw up a route, and that's it. But it's going to be a totally orchestrated trip, like they do in North Korea. You will not be able to deviate from the route, you will always be followed by a guide, you will always be watched and will only see what foreigners are allowed to see. And actually, it's not going to be the real Tibet, because the Chinese are struggling to assimilate it, embellish it and remake it. And everyone who's been here said it felt more like a national amusement park. How would you like 100 kilometers on this kind of road? Just for you to understand what kind of place my destination is in. I'm moving at the speed of a flying llama so far. There are legends in ancient times that Tibetan lamas were able to levitate, fly and even teleport. In general, this is the speed I move with. I just raised my hand and they stopped the car immediately. The first morning in Tibet, of course, wasn't easy. The town is at an altitude of 4,000 meters.
Hello.
I got here from almost zero in 12 hours, so it's hard to breathe. As soon as you exert yourself a little, do some active movement, you feel the lack of oxygen begin to suffocate you. But overall, I'm having a really good time. This place is amazing, it's a completely different world. You turn off the main streets with all the Chinese shops and all that tinsel, and it's like you're on a different planet. It doesn't feel like China at all. It's a different country. People look different. They speak a different language, and they write differently. Everything looks different. The reason is that Tibet is much more than a Tibetan autonomous region, which is only allowed to enter with special permission. In fact, the historical areas where Tibetans live occupy vast areas. And all of Tibet is traditionally divided into 3 historical regions: Utsang, Amdo and Kham. Utsang is the same size as the Tibetan autonomous region, which is closed. Amdo and Kham are located in Chinese provinces, and you don't need any special permits to go there. The place where no one is allowed to go now was the center of the Tibetan state, so the Chinese sent every effort to assimilate the Tibetans there. And the rest of the areas are sinificated much slower. I guess it will be easier to see the signs of traditional culture and life there. So I started my journey in the town of Litang in the Tibetan region of Kham, which is only 12 hours by bus from the Chinese city of Chengdu in the west of the country. This is how you get to real Tibet without any formalities. If you want to know how people live in other countries and see more of my travels, subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers, the more amazing places I can show you. But I'm not staying here for long because I have a more interesting and important goal. Another 50 kilometers to go and I'm in a small village. There's a lot of construction around, nothing to show really. Yaks are Tibetans' everything. Nomads make use of every single part of a yak, wasting absolutely nothing. They eat the meat, use the milk for making butter and cheese, and they make oil for candles and religious purposes. All warm clothes are made from yak skin. In short, if you take away a yak from a Tibetan, it would be the same as taking away his life. Two very strong desires are fighting in me. I'd even say a strong desire and a strong fear. I really want to go into the tent of the nomads to see how they live there, but on the other hand, I really don't want to miss the car because it might be the only one today, but I'll take my chances. Where are you going? To Yachin. Are you hungry? Let's go.
No. Oh, I'm good.
Sit down. This is their cozy hut. They live here all the time. They sleep, cook, can store all their things here. This is a classic Tibetan stove. There is one in every Tibetan house. It is used for boiling water. The stove runs on dried yak manure. There is no wood around, but there's enough yak manure, so this is what they use it for. They have a herd of yaks and one of their children is grazing yaks now. 2 other children are at school in a nearby town. Sershu district has a lot of mountains and prairies. 15 years ago, 70% of the population here were nomads who lived in tents and bred yaks. Today, all of them have moved to this type of house. It looks like an agricultural town. On one hand, this is probably a good thing because living in these houses is more comfortable. But on the other hand, the traditions started disappearing. The yak population is shrinking, and these people have nothing to do. Their land is taken for mining and construction. The Chinese have invested tens of billions of dollars in Tibet to build roads, develop healthcare, education and other infrastructure. And it sounds great, but with that, there's a flood of Chinese migrants coming here. And in the end, most businesses in Tibet belong to the Chinese. And they are the main recipients of all the benefits too. And a typical small Tibetan town looks like this so far. Ganji is a bigger city, it's the capital of the prefecture. Everything is different here. There is much more life here, almost completely new development. Lots of markets, shops, cafes and shopping malls. Traditional houses are no longer here. The buildings are either decorated in an old way, or they are just ordinary residence buildings. The huge advantage of Tibet is that wherever you live, you will always have the most gorgeous view in front of you. The other advantage is the people, of course. Local people are fantastic. There are a lot of young and modern people, but the other half is just from another world. There are entertainment places here. The guys are playing pool. It's a pool bar. Go away. They won't let me film for some reason. A pretty bartender girl. She's probably a bouncer as well. Monday night, an absolutely empty central city square. But people are here to have fun. There's not much to do tonight, so we'll have to join the disco. I asked him why it's only girls dancing and the boys aren't, and he told me men are bored. And you say it's a boring city. I danced at the square, then monks caught me to take pictures. It's cool. Cheers. Cheers. National food of China. National noodles. Yummy. This is tsampa. It's the basic traditional food of Tibetans, especially those who have no money. Here's how it's made. Flour mixed with water and yak butter. And it's all just rubbed together with your bare hands until you get a smooth dough. Your hands are worked out well with good exercise, and it makes a tasty meal. So they eat this raw dough. Some eat it for breakfast, lunch and dinner. It tastes good if you get used to it. It even tastes a little bit like chocolate. Class! It was worth coming. I was kept warm and I was given tea. I was fed. Nice guys. I wish we could talk to them. I don't understand a word. Is it tasty? It's tasty. We had a war with Japan and we hate them. You hate Japan? Yes.
Wait. Government party?
Too many political parties in Japan. Yes. In China, there is a communist party.
You know?
You mean only one party in China? You mean only one party in China? Yeah. We love the Communist Party, so we are strong. So everybody loves it. No. What do you mean?
In China.
Different nationalities in China. You don't want to talk because different nationalities have different opinions about the government. In the 1950s, when China occupied Tibet, here in Litang, there was one of the strongest points of resistance. Garze Prefecture, where this city is located, was a stronghold of resistance. Maybe that's why last night I was told that it could still be dangerous here. And that guy also told me that here in Tibet and in Xinjiang province, where I'm going after, there are a lot of foreign spies. That's important information. We met him on the bus on the way here, and there were several police posts where they check the documents of all the Chinese. They'd come up, scan their ID cards and their faces. I asked him why it was being done, and he said that some regions, like this one, were very dangerous because of separatist sentiments. Tibet was a huge empire from the 7th to the 9th century AD. It occupied parts of the territory of modern China, Mongolia, India, Bangladesh and Myanmar. But after the empire collapsed, Tibet was controlled to various degrees. At first it was controlled by the Mongol Empire of Yuan, then the Chinese Empire of Ming and the Manchurian Empire of Qing. Moreover, it is important to understand that the Manchurian Empire is not the same as China. China was only a part of it. When the empire collapsed in 1911, Tibet declared its independence, and in fact it became a fully independent state for the first time since the 9th century. However, only Mongolia officially recognized its independence, and China was trying to retain power over all the territories that had previously been part of the Manchurian Empire. In 1950, the Chinese army entered Tibet and took control of it, justifying it by the fact that the outdated feudal theocratic system should be replaced by a modern one for the benefit of all Tibetans. It was a start of reforms, repression, sinification, and at the same time a huge leap in economic development. Tibet lost a lot in terms of culture. It's rapidly turning into another Chinese province, which of course causes a lot of resentment and protests and riots from time to time. But remember, we are very friendly.
Sorry?
Chinese are friendly.
Friendly.
对
Everywhere.
Friendly. For everywhere, friendly.
We are friendly for everyone. There's a monk boy with a machine gun. You can still feel the atmosphere of unfinished resistance. Anyway, I couldn't get away. The sun is almost down and I'm stuck in this tiny town. There are 3 streets and I guess there is no guest house. I'll try to ask someone, but with God's help. Seems like I'm sleeping in the monastery tonight, or at some local people's house. I can sleep here? Oh, good. Is it free?
No.
Okay, thank you. It's fantastic. He was the first person I asked. He didn't understand anything. I showed him the Chinese word for hotel, but he couldn't read. He just called me upstairs and said I could sleep at his place for free. Once again, I will exercise this difficult art of kneading samto. They told me to drink it. What's really cool is that they have a house with a gorgeous view of the mountains and the sunset. The windows are huge and it's done for a reason, because the sun heats up the house. The sun is very hot during the day. It heats the room and the greenhouse effect is obtained, and it's warm inside. I was given a small room over there with a small balcony. I just entered it and it was really warm there. It's like 15 degrees warmer than it is outside. So I hope that it will be super warm to sleep at night. Hello. Here we are. Just had dinner, having a cup of tea with milk. It's warm, it's nice, the people are lovely. Google Translate is saving us again. Now it's all clear. That is his daughter, that is his friend. This is also his friend, and that was his mother sitting beside him. Wonderful, class, now we can communicate. What is your job? He says neither he nor the owner of the house has a job. I see. This young man is his daughter's husband. I see. They have 2 children.
No. Not.
Are you going to Lhasa later on? I'm not going to Lhasa.
Okay.
Trying to remember all the 25 words that I know in Chinese. Sometimes it works. I think I got sick. This room where they've put me to sleep is not warm at all. And according to the forecast, it will be minus 10 degrees tonight. Why is all this happening? Because there is no heating in the house. There is no running water and no sewage. They are not cruel. They are sleeping in the same room next door. This is just how they live in Tibet. It's hard to express my feelings yet. I'm just in a parallel universe. So you live your life and you don't know that there are places like this that are completely out of reach. like an alternate reality, and no one knows about their existence. On the way here, I thought I wouldn't see the real Tibet. I thought that China globalized and sinificated everything, but it's just fantastic here. Absolutely fantastic. That was not an easy night. I was not very cold. I was pretty warm, but I had poor sleep. My head was banging and my sinuses were sore. It was awful. I barely got up. Let's try again to get out of here. Let's go. Look how cool it is, a whole fence, a whole wall built out of yak manure. It's an animal pen to keep them in at night and a dryer for the manure at the same time. Brilliant. It's been an hour, not a car. 2 hours later, not a car. It's hard to walk when you don't see your goal. But you won't see it, even if it's 300 meters away from you, because of an endless serpentine and hills. At least the road is getting better. It's pretty flat. But I see this road going into infinity. Just into infinity. Okay, Leo. What does Buddhism teach us? Nothing lasts forever. Everything will end. And this road will also end. Everything will end. Funnily enough, as soon as I said that, a monk on a motorcycle stopped. I'm not sure if he needs to pee or wants to offer me a ride.
Huh? Let's go. Yarchen? Oh,
You know what else Buddhism teaches us? Right. Not to get too excited too much. Do not get too attached to emotions. We drove 2 kilometers and I'm walking again. Leo, learn the lessons of Dharma. Learn. It's all for a reason. I stopped one more vehicle, but it's worse than the previous one. I'm not sure I'll survive. I should have walked. I'm shaking so much. I can't even describe it in words. It was the worst physical experience of my life. If I don't get enlightened at the end of this, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I found a guy on a motorcycle. We'll cut at least a couple dozen kilometers. He drove me so fast. He drove me off the road on the free ride. After 2 hours of the spinal cord, nuts and arse-killing turbulence. No. I'm not in the right place. I thought he was gonna get me there in no time. 2 hours later, he stops and says, "You go there, and I go there." And he disappears into the bushes. And I stay in the middle of the road in this mountain step. Where am I? Damn, I have no clue. Do you want to ask me where I'm trying to get? Soon you will find out. I hope.